we will be recording the presentation, so if anybody would like to see that or get their hands on that to show someone who couldn't be here today, feel free to let Blake or myself or one of the instructors know. We can make sure you get your hands on that anyway. So. Hey, welcome, Bernard. Emma, Slayton, Tyler, thanks for joining us. Just going to start in a couple minutes to see if anybody's working through the technology to get into the meeting. So a few more minutes and we'll get started, the information. Thanks for tuning in. I know you guys might be muted right now. At the end of the presentation, we're going to unmute everybody at that time to chat. And also during the presentation, I'll touch on it in a little bit too, but feel free to use the raise hand feature in the participant list, and we'll unmute you then too. So just trying to control the noise and whatnot. So. So just go ahead and give it one more minute just to let people filter in. Seems like the stream is still flowing a little bit. So, but at 11:04, we can go ahead and get started with some introductions and with the presentation. So my name's Josh Shimmock. I'm out at the Kelmer campus. I'm in the Ag Tech building right now where our John Deere program is held. So I got a few guests with me today too, and we'll get into that at 11:04. So.
It looks like we got 22 participants. If I'm looking at that correctly.
Yep, that's what I see too.
Very good. Not bad given the circumstances and, kind of a short time notice and being the first run through. So that's good stuff. All right, guys, with respect to everyone's time, I think we can open it up and get going on the presentation. Welcome, everyone. I know that we have some prospective students and families, some folks from John Deere here with us too, and some other folks as well. So thanks for tuning in to NICC's John Deere Tech Visit Day. As I said, welcome. With me today, my name is Josh Shimmock. I'm an admissions representative here at NICC. With me today, I have Blake, Dwayne, Rodney, Neil, Matthew. As you can see on the screen there, Blake is my counterpart in admissions, and the other four gentlemen are instructors here at the college. So I know we have some folks from John Deere as well at the end of the presentation. If you guys would like to join us with any comments or words of advice, your thoughts, we'd really appreciate it then too. But I'll turn it over to Blake and Dwayne going down the list if you guys wanted to say some quick words before we begin.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Josh. Like Josh said, my name is Blake Mullen. I work closely with Josh in admissions at NICC here, and we're really excited and happy to have you guys here. So welcome.
Hi, I'm Dwayne Bauska. Thanks everybody for helping us get this put together. I'm hanging out in the west side of our shop here. You can see we got a little bit of equipment hanging around here. I thought that'd be a good backdrop. We've been around here for quite a while. We'll get to that in the video. So we'd love the opportunity to give you a personal tour when that time arrives. So.
All right, welcome everyone. Good morning. As you can see, I'm not in the same lab area as Dwayne. I'm in the East Lab, and I'll see if I can pan around here just a little bit. Obviously, we've got some work, a little bit of work to do here. We've got some engines all tore down, and kind of where we left things here, I don't know, it's been 6-8 weeks ago. So, yeah, welcome everyone, and take it away, Neil.
Okay. All right. I'm Neil Group, instructor there for quite a while. Again, I'm working from home. Currently, Matt and I are doing Electric 2 class and getting everybody ready to graduate here May 14th. So looking forward to that. So we're just carrying on the best we can. Thanks for showing up.
And my name's Matt Johnson. Like Neil said, I'm working from home. I'm actually in our shop office at home right now. It's my new John Deere Tech office and lab currently. So glad you could all show up today.
All right, thanks guys. I know, further in the presentation, you guys will have some more comments to share, but thought it might be a good opportunity to kind of get us going that way. So folks, curious here, this is a photo of NICC's John Deere Technician Program. This is the first graduating class. This is one of our most long-standing programs at the college, the John Deere Technician Program. Curious, in the chat box, if you guys want to maybe put a guess on when you think this graduating class was, what year do you think this graduating class was? And Blake, if you wouldn't mind maybe reading some of those comments, I can't see them with the presentation right now. Just curious what people are thinking of when the first graduating class was.
I suppose
That's a good question now. So take a stab at it if you guys would like.
Dwayne, I know you and Rodney and Matt and Neil know it, but
we probably can't participate in this, can we?
Larry's guess 1990.
that's close. Yeah, that's close. Don't let the gray color fool you. It wasn't too terribly long ago, but it was more recent than 1990.
Yep. Daniel said 1978. Kim Lynch, guess 94. We've got another one here, 1993 from SBSTORF at Yahoo. No, Wyatt's iPhone said 1985. Staff R2 guessed 1980. And the last guess I see here, Josh, is from Andrew Felstool, 1992.
Ooh, Andrew and Larry, right in the middle of your two guesses. 1991. A lot of good guesses in the ballpark there, but 1991, first graduating class. Yep. And I know, I think it was maybe 6 years after this photo was taken that Dwayne Bauska joined as faculty on at the program. So he's been here almost as long as this picture's been taken, if I'm right on that.
Pretty close, thank you.
So just to kind of fast forward a little bit though, from 1991 to a more recent picture, this is one of our recent graduating classes. that are proud to show off, you know, their achievements with the program and whatnot. So, you know, the equipment's changed a little bit, obviously, but the work of the students and the great instruction by our faculty just keeps marching on from 91 to 2020, just in a little different way these days. So with that said, just a couple housekeeping tips, just some things that I wanted to share with you guys before we get too deep in the presentation. Feel free to keep using that chat box with any questions you might have. I know at the end, Blake and I will kind of go through those, and with the help of our instructors, answer any questions that you might have. If there's something pressing and you want to kind of get your voice out a little bit quicker, feel free to use the participant feature on Zoom and use the raise hand feature, and we'll get to you even quicker that way. And also, you know, everyone's muted at the moment for the most part, but at the end of the presentation, we'll unmute folks. So if there's something you want to say there too, definitely welcome to do so. So if you have a question during the presentation at any time, feel free to use the chat box. At the end of the meeting, Blake will post a short survey link in the chat box. We'd really appreciate your feedback on this. As Rodney said, this is our first go around doing something like this. So, you know, your point of view is important going forward. And also for completing the survey, we'll mail you a t-shirt, and maybe we can find some John Deere giveaways as well, now that Dwayne and Rodney and I are in the building now. So, but just thanks for joining us. This is the agenda we're working with today, guys. We're kind of in the welcome and NICC admissions information piece of the puzzle right now. The instructors put together a phenomenal video that we're going to show to kind of introduce some concepts of the John Deere program at about 11:15 or so. After that video concludes, as you can see, it's about a 20-minute video. After it concludes, we'll open it back up to you know, any initial thoughts from the John Deere instructors, and then I have a few other slides to go through as well. After that, we'll have a question and answer session. Blake, of course, as I said, will send out that survey, and you guys are welcome to stay on as long as you want. We'll be here to answer questions and just have a dialogue with you guys. So my role in this presentation, a big part of it is kind of expanding from the John Deere program to the college itself, to give you some facts about Northeast Iowa Community College, just to give you maybe a better idea of our history, where we're located, who our students are and how we serve them, and just what we're all about. So the college, NICC, started in 1966 in Kelmer, Iowa. So just over 50 years ago, NICC got its start with about a dozen programs. Since then, we've grown to have up to 70 programs, lasting anywhere from 6 months to a little over 2 years, ranging from, you know, anything in healthcare to advanced manufacturing to agriculture and animal sciences to, of course, our John Deere technician program. We have quite a few programs to speak of, but for the purposes of this presentation, I'm going to speak a lot to the John Deere Tech program. Our 8 locations, we've grown from Kelmer to include a sister campus in Peosta, Iowa, which is about 30 minutes west of Dubuque, Iowa, on Highway 20. It's about 90 minutes or so southeast of Kelmer. Those are our 2 main campuses where the majority of our programs are held. But with that said, we have center locations kind of in between and on the hinterlands in Cresco, Dubuque, Manchester, New Hampton, Owine, and Waukon, where students can take classes, of course, but also meet with advisors, do any placement testing they might need, and just kind of talk through the college process that way. So we've grown from our single location in Kelmer to include about 5,000 square miles of Northeast Iowa. And the way we've delivered our courses has changed over the years as well. You know, more and more each and every year, we're doing online classes. ranging from anywhere from 8 to 10 week online courses to 16 weeks. So, you know, the days of having to go to a physical location and taking classes maybe isn't always the case. It is the case with our John Deere technician program, just because of all of the lab work they do here in Kelmer, and all of the hands-on work they do. In addition to the 24 weeks they spend doing on-the-job training at their dealers, they spend a lot of time here in Kelmer. So, but big picture is just we've grown in the amount of programs we offer, our territory, and just the way that we can deliver our content to students, whether that be online, face-to-face, or kind of a mix, kind of a hybrid of the two. The Z course at the bottom of the screen you might see there, it stands for zero textbook costs. Those are online courses lasting 8 weeks. So I know that we have some gen eds in this program, the John Deere Tech program. You know, those courses might be able to be completed online during any time of the year that's convenient for you. This is just a kind of a visual representation of where we're located here. On the left, you'll see the 4-state region, Northeast Iowa, with the Kelmer campus with the yellow dot there. That's kind of where we got our start. And then you can see the center locations and then our sister campus in Piasta to kind of see how we've spread our wings a little bit since 1966. On the right, you'll see kind of a zoomed in snapshot of our 8-county in-district region, from Mitchell County up by Riceville, Iowa, just west of Cresco, near Howard County, all the way down to Delaware and Dubuque County. Some facts about NICC. We're a community college, so our class sizes are small. Our average class size for this school year was 14 students per instructor. So with that said, students are able to, you know, get that one-on-one attention with their instructors before, during, and after class. Students aren't just a number. They're there, and they're held accountable by the instructors who take attendance, who, you know, make sure that things are going well. If things get off the rails, they help get them back on the rails. So small class sizes, you get that one-on-one attention that a lot of people need and want. But with that said, across all of our locations and with our high school student population as well, we have about 6,000 students at Northeast Iowa Community College. So there's lots of opportunities to meet new friends that way. And I know a little bit later we'll show a video with two students, Derek and Michael, and they kind of talk about that meeting friends and whatnot. So I can tell you that I grew up and attended a high school about 10 minutes away from here, Turkey Valley High School. And when I came to NICC to start my education, you know, I knew a handful of people, but being so close, there were still so many people to meet. So couple other facts. We really do value sticking with our students from application to graduation and beyond. So we have a lot of supports in place to help students get through their classes, get through their programs successfully, confidently, so they can enter the workforce. You can see on the screen there, we have one-on-one academic advisors that meet with our students all the way through. So, you know, just making sure that, you know, students are taking the right classes at the right times. So, you know, we're saving everybody time and money that way. We have a career services team that helps both undecided students as well as students that are in the thick of a program, just to get them prepared for the job seeking skills and for employment after graduation at the Kelmer and Piasta campus. We have full-time staff to help students that way. We have full-time mental health counselors at Kelmer and Piasta as well, to meet with students who may need an extra outlet that way, of course, confidentially and privately as well. So whether it be related to academics or just personal relationships, they're there to help too, of course, at no cost. We also have accommodations for students who in high school may have had extra time to test, or a test read aloud, or a private place to study. We have our disability services team. We have folks up in Kelmer and Piasta as well to connect with our faculty on behalf of the student to make sure that those accommodations continue during their time at NICC. And last but not least, we have a phenomenal learning and writing center in Kelmer, in Piasta, and as well in Dubuque, where students can get essentially free tutoring from folks who used to teach for NICC just by showing up. You know, there's not an appointment needed. They're open extended hours Monday through Thursday just to help students with, you know, any math homework they might have, write in any papers, any type of science projects they might have going on. It's just free tutoring that way too. So great service that they offer here, as well as Piasta and Dubuque. So there's a lot of text on this screen. I'm going to be spending quite a bit of time talking about the employment track that you see on the left there. But, you know, this is kind of showing us that our students kind of fall into three pathways at Northeast Iowa Community College. We have many students who come to NICC to spend their first or second year completing their general education requirements, completing an Associate of Arts or an Associate of Science degree, and then transferring to a four-year to start as a junior in pursuit of their bachelor's program. Of course, as it says, they're matched up with a one-on-one advisor, as are all of our students, to make sure that that's a seamless transfer process. And we have folks that come here undecided, folks who graduated high school, or maybe people who are a little bit older who are thinking about making a career change, but not entirely sure what, but they know they want to continue their education, take some classes, work towards their goals. They're able to do that as well. And that's really a moment when our career services team can come in handy as well, along with their advisor to help out with that process. The John Deere Tech program would fall under the employment track on the left there. Our curriculum is driven by the industry, by our John Deere partners, by the knowledge of our faculty, by our advisory boards. It's set up so we have 100% job placement for students, because part of the program is securing a sponsorship from a dealer where that on-the-job training takes place. You know, John Deere Technician program lasts about 2 years. Students are working during that time for those 2 12-week sessions, and then upon graduation, they're set up for great employment, great wages, and oftentimes close to home. So a lot of our programs are that way, where students can get kind of those applied science. They can take an Associate of Applied Science, learn those career and technical skills, whether it be for John Deere or automotive technician or electrician program or welding or what have you. Get that knowledge, that industry knowledge, along with some general education classes to broaden their scope with the liberal arts, and they're ready to go for employment. Oftentimes, our students have obtained employment prior to graduation. In the case of the John Deere Tech program, that's 100%. But life at NICC for our students is more than just lectures and labs and taking classes. We try to provide as much variety in our student life offerings as we can. You'll see the pictures there on the screen. We have a trap shooting team that is co-ed. It's a combination of students from the Kelmer and Piasta campus. They compete fall and spring. I believe they have 4 meets in the fall, 4 in the spring, and they travel all over the state to compete collegiately in that sport. We also have a phenomenal student life director at our Piasta campus who, in collaboration with our student leaders, our students who want to get involved even more to help her out, they bring in various entertainment. You can see we have therapy dogs around finals times. On the bottom left, there's some exotic animals that our students have brought in. They go to conferences to kind of be wined and dined by entertainers and prospective entertainers, and they bring them back to the college. They also plan a lot of trips and single day trips and outings, as you can see, Sundown Mountain near Dubuque, as well as various intramural basketball and volleyball tournaments. I know Dubuque, they partner with the University of Dubuque and the Piasta campus partner together to offer all kinds of intramurals. And up here in Kelmer, we partner with Upper Iowa University as well to kind of just make college a little less stressful and just provide more opportunities for students to get connected with each other and with other folks as well. There's a lot of bullets on the screen. As you can see, I'm not going to go through each and every one, but I definitely want to touch on a couple. We do have fitness centers at each location in Kelmer and Piasta available for students to use at a really affordable rate. with the student discounts that they get. We do provide housing assistance for our students. I know a lot of you guys are phoning in and checking in from a distance from Kelmer, so it doesn't make sense to commute, and moving is kind of your only option that way. So we know that, you know, housing is a very important component of coming to NICC and being a student. So we work with students and their families by providing a vetted list of landlords with contact information in and around the campuses and the surrounding communities to make sure that you can meet with folks, tour potential rental properties, and just find a good fit for yourself or for your children. So we do provide that housing assistance because as of now, Northeast Iowa Community College, we don't have on-campus residential, you know, dorms at the moment. So we really take the initiative to work with families to make sure that we can provide assistance for housing that way in and around Kelmer, in and around Piasta. Another thing I'll touch on here, with the help of our student leaders and our student activities staff in Piasta and Kelmer, we provide a service trip each and every year where students during spring break can volunteer and also get to know a city in the United States. This spring just got in before, you know, everything kind of changed in our world. We were able to go to Phoenix, Arizona. 23 students from Piasta and Kelmer got to meet each other, got to do some great volunteer work, but also got to explore the sights and sounds of the Phoenix metro area, all while staying at a state park next to a national forest. So, I mean, they've gone to Nashville, they've gone to San Francisco, Boston. These experiences take place during spring break. I know the last 2 years, we had a John Deere technician student from Minnesota, Marcus, who's gone on both of those. So, you know, students might have a little bit of homework to do, but they're not missing any class or anything like that. And it's very affordable. Just for a couple $100, that includes the transportation, so the flight to Phoenix, the lodging, meals, and there was funding assistance just to even get them there. So the college really wants to provide as many opportunities outside the classroom as we can. Just a couple thoughts. I don't want to get lost in this slide too much, but, you know, financial aid is obviously a big component of coming to school and you know, figuring out how to pay for classes and such. Being as you guys are interested in our John Deere technician program, we have some extra opportunities with all of the support that our sponsored dealerships provide in terms of some tuition assistance packages and helping out with tools and things like that, in addition to what you see on the screen. But what I will say is that seniors in high school, October 1st of your senior year, the free application for federal student aid, the FAFSA, opens up, and it's something that you're definitely going to want to complete and include NICC on that application. We also have NICC Foundation scholarships with a priority deadline of April 1st, but that definitely doesn't mean that students can't complete the application after April 1st. We encourage you to do so. For any seniors who might want to take advantage of some internal scholarships at the college that we have. So please feel free to go ahead and do that as well. There's also something called the Last Dollar Scholarship. I'll have a slide in a little bit about that as well. And we'll have a presentation tomorrow at 11 to go in more depth on what the Last Dollar Scholarship is. But as you can see on your screen, a lot of dollars are awarded to a high percentage of our students for financial aid. And our own NICC Foundation scholarships is a big chunk of that as well. Just a quick slide on the Last Dollar Scholarship. Just curious, actually, I'm always curious because this is brand new for the 1920 school year. In the chat box, if you guys could just maybe say yes for that you're aware of Last Dollar Scholarship, or no, or this is, you know, unfamiliar or familiar. Just curious, do you guys know about the Last Dollar Scholarship? Blake, if you wouldn't mind helping, maybe relaying some of the thoughts by our guests on if they're familiar with Last Dollar Scholarship, that'd be awesome. And while you guys are kind of typing those thoughts in, I'll just mention that the Last Dollar Scholarship is State of Iowa Future Ready Iowa grant. It's for Iowa residents only, but it does provide a lot of financial support in addition to all the great things our John Deere partners do as well. and our NICC scholarships to just form a great package to help students pay for college. About a third of all of NICC programs qualify for last dollar scholarships because of the demand for workers, and John Deere Tech is part of that. It is eligible. But still, with that said, though it is for only Iowa residents, all students still get the value of the dealer sponsorships and the perks that that provides. And if you're interested in learning more about last dollar scholarship from some of our experts, you can tune in tomorrow at 11 for that as well. What are you seeing, Blake?
Yeah, thanks, Josh. So it looks like most people that have put in the chat box that they're unfamiliar with the last dollar scholarship and some of the ins and outs. Looks like there's maybe one or two that, again, have heard of it, but don't know a lot of the details with it.
Great, thanks. Yeah, so, just curious to see, how quickly the word's getting out. Last summer was when, folks at the college first heard about it. Yeah, as I said, it's for Iowa residents, for about a third of all of our programs here at NICC. If you do want those details, if you've kind of heard about it but want to take a deeper dive, like I said, feel free to tune in tomorrow at 11, where Blake and some of our other financial aid folks will be on that call as well. And that kind of brings us to our first video here. I want to introduce you to a student that we had at NICC, his dad and some of our instructors in this video, a student named Nolan, just to kind of give a testimonial about, how being in this program has helped him individually, but kind of also helped his whole family back home.
They go to school, then they come back here and work on their own on-the-job training, and then they go back to school, and then they come back here, and then we hire them, is what we do. And it's a very good program. We got 4 that have gone through Kelmar, and they've done excellent work for us. Nolan was our 4th one that's gone through Kelmar.
We do just anything from general service work to major repairs, diagnostics, giving me a nice job, place to work. I never thought I'd have this nice of a job, and it's pretty impressive, I think.
Like I say, we farm and run a shop both, and I could just tell that every time, he knew a fair amount when he went up there because he'd been around it all his life. But then just every time he would come back for one of his on-job trainings, he was living at home and working here in Manson. And it'd just be heads and tails better than the last time he was home.
The teachers are very driven and focused, and they seem to really, really care about you.
I probably only did about 25% of the work on my combine because I had some other stuff going and Nolan did it all, That's been a really, really nice thing to have.
Yeah, that's a great video. Just kind of showing what the program can do for students, as they kind of embark on their career journey, but, how it impacts the family and, in this case, the community in Manson as a whole. But with that said, I want to introduce the man, the myth, the legend. This is a video that all of our instructors put together that Dwayne Bauschka is going to narrate here. It's about 20 minutes. But we'll definitely reconvene after the video concludes. But this is just all of the things that students and prospective students might need to know about the John Deere Tech program. All those details are located in this video. So I'm going to go ahead and play that.
Hi, today we have a presentation for you about the John Deere Tech program at Northeast Iowa Community College. Hopefully you see something you like in the presentation and we can set up a visit. So what do we do at John Deere Tech? At John Deere Tech, we train students to become John Deere dealership technicians, from working in the shop to working on the road out of a service truck, maybe combines, tractors, implement repair. These young men are setting up a new 8000 series tractor, putting the duals on the front end. These guys are working on a combine, putting it back together. And we also do a pretty extensive engine class in there, so you can see that these guys are working on engines in lab. Program is a partnership program, and there's 4 partners in that program. First of all, the student, John Deere and Company, the John Deere dealership, and then Northeast Iowa Community College. We'll talk about each of those different partners in the next few slides. So requirements for the students would be that you would have a high school diploma or the GED. You need to take a placement test for college like every other college. You need to acquire a John Deere dealership sponsor. So you would interview with the dealership and they would agree to sponsor you and sign a piece of paper that says they're going to take care of you when you're on OJT. That's also an opportunity for a foot in the door of the dealership. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. And then there's also tools that are involved that you'll need to have for the program. Northeast Iowa Community College is partnered with Snap-on Tools, and we are now selling Snap-on tools through the bookstore. So there's a required tool set that you would need, and the Snap-on dealer has put those all together as a kit, and then you would just order that kit through the bookstore. That helps the student because you don't pay taxes on it, and you can directly apply financial aid towards a purchase of tools. It also simplifies the shipping and the ordering process because they are directly hauled to the school and right at the start of class when you need them. They'll come and help you organize and inventory everything to make sure you have everything. This is a picture of last year's class with the new Snap-on tools and toolboxes. So John Deere as a company works as a partner with Northeast Iowa Community College to provide training aids for the students to use while they're at school. So the lower left picture there is a picture of several of the engines that we have on campus. The lower right picture is new inventory. So we have 4 or 5 new tractors there all the time. Plus we have some other ones that are near new tractors that are there at school all the time as well that we can use for training purposes. The picture in the upper right-hand corner is a transmission cutaway that they use for factory training, and they are no longer using that at the factory training, so they brought it to Northeast Iowa Community College so we can have it at school for the students to learn from. They also provide instructor training, so we spend at least a week a year in training with other John Deere Tech instructors, plus we have a large opportunity for online training that we can get through Deere and Company so the instructors can remain current with industry products. The John Deere dealership as a partner provides the learning opportunity for the student through a paid on-the-job training. So there'll be 2 12-week periods, 40 hours plus a week that you'll be working at the John Deere dealer that is close to home where you are now. And they provide mentors to assist the student in the process. They also provide uniforms, and you get paid, and it has to be at least minimum wage, but most of them are considerably better than that. The dealerships need technicians, and this is an opportunity for you to show them what you can do, and they can show you what they have to offer. Northeast Iowa Community College provides the facilities. So in the lower picture there, you can see our building that we have and a lot of the training aids that Deere has provided for us. So primarily that is our building to play with. We have 2 shop areas in there. We have 4 classrooms. The upper right-hand corner is a picture of one of the classrooms. The classrooms are equipped with 70-inch touchscreen televisions and cameras, and provides us a great opportunity to display training aids and information for classes. The college also provides normal college services, financial aid, bookstore, a lot of other things. So when you get done with the program, yeah, it's a 2-year program, so it'll be an Associate of Applied Science degree. So it's 5 semesters long. 2 of the semesters are mostly OJT. 3 of the 4 months of the semester are spent at work at the dealership. And then there are 3 semesters that are in class. And we do go through the summer between the 2 years. So here's a list of the classes that we do. There's a few more than what's on the paper here, but fundamentals and safety. So that's your first class there. You learn about tools and and you learn about working in the shop, and you at the same time you're playing with new equipment, setting up new pieces of equipment for customer delivery, learn how to drive new tractors, learn about the different features of them. We also tear apart a combine during that period of time. Then we move into implement class. So implements are more balers, planters, sprayers, and then there's also some fundamental stuff that is taught at the same time. Then we move into electric class. Actually, there's 2 electrical classes. So we play with the electrical stuff and figure out how to do some diagnosis and testing there. And then at the end of the 2 years, there's an electrical certification from Deere that you'll do. Then there's hydraulics class, so we learn about fluid power, and we focus on testing, operation, and repair. We do diesel engine classes and small gas engine class first, and then we do a diesel engine class where you'll disassemble a large diesel engine, anything from a 6.8 liter to a 13.5 liter, and take it all apart, put it back together, and make it run. Powertrains class is all about the different drive systems, so different transmissions and axles and clutches and different components. There's a class on air conditioning in the summertime, and you will be NICC certified when you're at the end of the air conditioning class. We have a combine class, and during that combine class, we get a couple combines from a local dealer that we do a inspection on and do some repair work on. Plus, we have a couple combines at school that we also work on. Tractor performance class, we spend some time with a dyno and figuring out how much horsepower it's got and how to test it. And we do some fuel system stuff at the same time. And final Tier 4 emissions stuff is also in the 2-year program. And then information technology class. The information technology class is based around Service Advisor, which is our tech manual program. And that also is a certification class with John Deere, and we'll be making connections with machines and diagnosing problems and learn how to look up repair information on various machines. All of the classes have a 2-hour per day time frame in the classroom, and then there is 2 hours a day time in the lab. So half of the time you spend with John Deere Tech is going to be working in the lab. The labs are all set up to match the classes. So if we're talking about electrical in the classroom, we're doing electrical projects. Or if we're talking about tractor performance in the classroom, we're doing lab projects that are based around tractor performance. We know that our students are hands-on learners, and we need to have that lab environment to enhance their learning. The John Deere Tech program is an AS degree program, so there are a few Gen Ed classes that are involved with the program as well. The Gen Ed classes are done in 3 of the semesters. You don't do Gen Ed classes while you are on the job training. So we'd have speech, workplace communication, human relations, college experience, math, or science elective. The classes are pretty well handpicked to direct you towards something that you'll use in your career after graduation. Those classes are taught during 2 hours a day, Monday through Thursday. We also do John Deere certifications. While you're at school, they're a requirement for graduation. So we present you with the material for the certification. We work with you in the lab with the certification material, and then we monitor while you test online with John Deere. And those classes are for electrical certification, hydraulic certification, and service advisor certification. We have a very high pass rate on these classes. We test you when you know you're ready to be successful at it. I should also mention that we do the NICC air conditioning certification that's required to purchase Freon, and that also is taught during the summer semester with the air conditioning class. I have a few pictures of some of the things that we do at school. This is in the first semester, the first class. And one of your assignments is you're going to take a new tractor outside and drive it around and figure out how it operates. That's in the first 20 days. This is also in the first 20 days. This is micrometer class, so you learn how to read a micrometer. This is kind of a setup that we do in class. We are hands-on learners, so for you to learn how to read a micrometer, you need to use a micrometer. And that's what they're doing. They're passing items around and measuring them, writing the answers down on a piece of paper. The combine disassembly, we also do in that first class. So we have the combine starting to come apart here. We get them from a salvage yard, and then we take them back in pieces. And we continue tearing it down until we get really torn down. And then we haul the pieces back to the salvage yard. This one you don't have to put back together. Here's a couple pictures of implement class. This is a sprayer that we got from a local dealer, and we go over different items on the sprayer. And then we also get a round baler and a planter. You can see the planter in the background of the picture, and round baler as well. Here's a picture from upstairs of engine class from a couple of years ago. We have two students paired up on an engine, anything from a 6.8 liter to a 13.5, and we tear them apart and then put them back together. Look at all those pieces. And the best part of engine class is when it's all back together and it runs. These two guys connected 4 controllers together. We got them communicating with each other for the electronics to run this 9-liter engine. They're both pretty happy. You can tell that in the picture. This is a picture in electrical certification class, and you can see we've got a couple monitors going in front of the classroom there. You also notice that the students all have their meters out in front of them because it's a hands-on class as well. So we talk about the theory, and then they also test the components while they are in class. This is a picture of some classroom projects. You can see they all have laptops in front of them. The school has laptops with service advisor on them, enough for all the students to each have their own laptop to use. And so here they would be researching some information, and they're using the school laptops with John Deere software on them. In the summer, we go on factory tours. This is a picture from the Quad Cities. And the students are all lined up in the showroom at corporate headquarters. We also go to the pavilion, Harvester Works, Dubuque Works, Davenport Works. While we're there, we do tours in the summer. And then we also do tours in the spring. We go to the Waterloo factories in the spring as well. Every year, the second week in July, we host a tractor ride, get a group of people together, graduates of the program and upcoming students. They bring their tractors up, and we go for a 30 or 35 mile ride, and then have a little lunch when we get back. And you can see we let about any color go for the drive with us that day. This is one of our 4 dedicated classrooms. All the classrooms have 70-inch touchscreen TVs, and they also have a video camera in the ceiling, so we can display different components as we talk about it on the big screen television. In 2016, the entire facility was remodeled. This is one of the nice areas that improved. The lobby area provides a place for the students to sit and talk or work on homework or whatever. It's a little rest area in the building. We have 2 large lab areas. This is one of the labs, and they're both the same size, one on each side of the shop. You can see we have overhead hoists and a jib crane here to help us with our lab projects. We have a dedicated computer lab that is specifically for the John Deere Tech students. There are 22 computers in here with service advisor and parts advisor. So when we need to work on a class project and need the computer, everybody has their own computer to use. And in addition to this, we have 40 laptops for student use to use in the shop as well, or they can be used in other classrooms. This is a group photo that we took in 2019. We can take 40 students a year, but 40 students are not going to be in the classroom together. There are 2 classes of 20 is what we would take. So you'll never be in a class of more than 20. And while you're in the lab area, there will be 2 instructors for 20 students that are working in the lab area. So the student faculty ratio is pretty good. This is a panoramic shot of lab 1. This is the lab that we use most of the time throughout the year. This was at the start of engine class, and you can see pretty big area, and it's got the nice overhead hoist and exhaust system in it. This is a picture of the West lab area. You can see there's a lot of new and used machines over on the other side. When we're doing engine class, we use this more for machinery storage. When we get both classes on campus at the same time, we will use both sides of the lab. The John Deere Tech program qualifies as a last dollar scholarship program. So if you're a resident of the state of Iowa, there are some opportunities for you to get your tuition and fees paid. So basically you can go to school tuition free. Other money that you receive can be used for purchasing tools. You need to have your FAFSA done by July 1st. This is just a map to show you where we're located. We're at Calhoun, Iowa, which is pretty close to Decorah. We're up in the northeast corner of the state. So you can see Des Moines is down at the bottom of the picture, and Owatonna is at the top of the picture, and Sioux City on the west side. So it gives you a little bit of a layout of where we are located. So for more information on the program, you can go to nicc.edu and look for John Deere Tech, or just do a search for John Deere and you'll find it. John Deere also has a website, which is jdpowerup.com. We'll also get you some information there, and there's links to the college at that point. The school also does a John Deere Tech Kelmer blog spot, which is a blog that has information from the last 8 or 9 years on different lab projects and all kinds of different things. There's a lot of pictures and videos there to look for. If you can't remember that, just do a search for John Deere Tech Kelmer and you'll be able to find it. We look forward to hearing from you. Hi.
All right, second time around. No, that's a lot of great information in that video. A couple thoughts that come to mind for me. One is, again, if there's anybody who that would want to see this information, that video especially, and everything else as well. We are recording the presentation, so don't hesitate to ask Blake or I or one of the instructors to go ahead and get you the recording for that. And also, it's just nice to hear that information and kind of get a little bit of that virtual tour. Given that we can't be here together, just to have that slideshow of pictures, it was nice to kind of see the labs, the classrooms, the lobby, and then a little bit of Kelmer and beyond as well. So just a couple other thoughts I have for you guys about the John Deere Tech program, kind of in addition and as part of what Dwayne said in the video. All applicants must secure a John Deere dealer sponsor prior to acceptance. So before they can be moved to a student for the John Deere Tech program, they need to get that sponsorship with the local John Deere dealer. It's concentrated coursework, so that's why it is an Associate of Applied Science. So it's 79 credits, so a few more credits than some of our other programs, just because of all of the phenomenal technical skills and things that the students learn while they're here. And it's a fall entry course. Just to give you an idea of the out-of-pocket cost, you know, before any types of financial aid and scholarships, grants, sponsor assistance is added in and whatnot, just shows you the in-state and out-of-state costs for tuition and fees. And that is for the entirety of the program, not just per year, but for the entirety of the program. And then the tools and the books that go along with that as well, just to kind of be upfront about the cost of the program. And, you know, additional costs to consider, you know, when you're thinking about the total cost of attending school, you know, you have in the transportation, the food, you know, the living situation, and also recreation and all of those pursuits out of the classroom as well. So just all things to keep in mind there. But there is a return on investment for sure. The career outlook for John Deere Tech is continuously growing. Our students are needed and wanted, and that's why they're sponsored. And students graduating from the program can expect an annual starting income of approximately $40,000 or higher, and that's with advancement opportunities and with room to grow as well there too. So, and shout out to Rodney who sent a picture of you know, of what that looks like from his vault at his house right there too, just to kind of give us an idea there too. But yeah, no, there's a lot of opportunity for students to make a great wage right after graduation, you know, 20 years old, what have you, to be really getting a head start that way. It's a pretty awesome thing. I got another video for you guys here before I kind of bring back our instructors into the fold to kind of join in on the conversation. I'm going to show you a video of two former students here of Derek and Michael, and they're just giving their thoughts on, you know, about their time in the program and what they expected and what they were told and how it actually played out for them.
You come here and it's just like, it's like nothing else. It's amazing. Just knew it was the right fit for me right away. 50% we have lab time, the other half of the day is in the classroom. And I think that's the perfect ratio of, you know, you're getting the book learning time, but you're also getting that hands-on. That's how we learn best. Instructors have so many real-world experiences that they share to us, and it really clicks. Here it's like advancing everything to the next level. We don't just talk about after-treatment systems. We tear it down. We know every single thing about that system, and it's what sets Northeast Iowa apart from everybody else. We see so many kids our age going to 4 years right away, and then they're looking for a job. You have a job afterwards. The pay is great, and you have a chance to advance in your career, and that's really important. I didn't know a single person walking into that room, and the instructor's like, these are going to be your best friends when you graduate, and that's exactly what happened.
Awesome. And as you can see at the end of the video, just another link to get all this information as well, you know, online through the JD Power Up, the NICC John Deere Tech page, and also that blog that Dwayne runs as well, that video blog too. So, you know, just two great testimonials, first from Nolan, and then secondly from Michael and Derek, just talking about their time in the program. You know, you may have noticed in the video that we have students coming from all parts of the state of Iowa and beyond in terms of the patches on the shirts that they're wearing. So all of our partners that are involved that way. So just a couple other thoughts, guys. You know, the next step, if you're interested in the program, as Dwayne said in the video, the John Deere Tech program has a capacity of 40 students. So, you know, depending on the year, that could fill or maybe not. But if you want to go ahead and be a part of that and be a part of this, your first step is to apply online on our website. No cost, doesn't tie you down, but it gets you moving in the system anyway. So step 1A, I would say, before moving on to 2, would be, you know, with this program is securing that John Deere sponsorship form. Just getting that relationship or furthering that relationship. So you have that dealer that will sponsor you and allow you to do the OJT and just to help you out moving forward that way. So that's definitely step 1A. But beyond that, you know, submitting your FAFSA, like Dwayne said in the video, for sure before July 1st. it opens up that prior October 1st, you know, just getting that FAFSA submitted, and then applying for scholarships to help out, not only with tuition, but also with the tools and all of the other cost of attending school. Step 3, sending all of your high school transcripts. We want to see the full academic picture of what you've done, you know, the classes you've taken. You may have already taken some of those gen ed courses through NICC, or if you're out of our district from a different community colleges that will plug into the program to help lighten the load. So it also helps us, you know, when looking at placement testing. So sending those high school and any other college transcripts is very important as well. And then depending on what that shows, scheduling and completing placement assessments with us. After that, you're really meeting with your advisor and you're registering for classes, and then pay tuition and head to class. So with that said, I'm going to stop the presentation here. I'm going to stop sharing, I should say, my screen, just to kind of bring us back all together here, and just kind of open up the floor to Dwayne, to Neil, to Matt, to Rodney. Anything you guys want to kind of kick off right now or talk about? You're welcome to do so.
You guys give me 1 second. I'm going to unmute you guys right here. So just give me 1 second here. All right, and Neil. All right. Think you guys should be good to go. Dwayne and Rodney, Matt and Neil.
And Blake, maybe I should say, you know, if there's any questions they can touch on that were submitted in the chat box too, is maybe a starting point. Welcome to go that route too.
I think there were a few questions in there.
And maybe we
Yep.
should start there.
I see that.
Yeah, so first question I see here, guys, this is from Kim. So first semester is 17 credits. Is that a bit overwhelming for students as far as homework and such?
So we have a lot of students at various levels, and they typically handle it pretty well. They are busy. They're with our classes for 4 hours a day, and then they have gen ed classes a couple days a week for 2 hours a day, but they seem to get it handled pretty well. And we work with them, but they seem to be able to handle it all right.
Awesome. Another question was, are students educated on older tractors and equipment as well as the newer equipment and tractors?
Okay, so we do fundamental and basic, you know, some basic skills is what we're doing, but we have equipment that is older and newer. Sometimes the older stuff is easier to understand for the fundamental information, and then we bring that into the newer equipment while we're at it. So there's a combination of the two. I think what we got to focus on is that we are building the skills to research information and apply it, and then that applies to older and newer equipment as well.
Neil, Matt, Ronnie, you guys, on either of those questions so far, anything to add with those two questions or anything? Or
Well, I'd have to agree with Dwayne as far as, you know, the 17 credits. You know, I really believe that, you know, what we've seen over the years is if we keep the students busy and they stay a little bit more focused than if we give them too much time to get sidetracked, if you know what I mean. So they get the work done, and they seem to handle it very well. As far as the equipment goes, we like to start at ground level and work our way up. So certainly always talking about the older equipment, and exactly like Dwayne said, we have to apply that to the newer equipment. Learning how to use your resources, whether it's on the older stuff or the newer stuff. Find the information, do your diagnostics, and make your diagnosis and repairs. So.
okay.
With that, I guess.
Yep. Neil and Matt, anything to add on either of those two?
I would just have to say, I think they did a good job in summing that up. Obviously, you know, on the older equipment and whatnot, we do building blocks, like, much like Dwayne said. You know, we build on those systems and build it up through the new stuff.
Yep, pretty much covers it.
Got another question here. What is the best way, or how do you go about getting a sponsored dealer for this program?
Well, so I would say what you do is, depending on your location, so you would go to the dealership and you would talk to probably the service manager, like you're applying for a job, because basically that's what you're doing. This is a perfect opportunity to lead you into a job. You go to the dealership and you tell them that you're interested in the John Deere Tech program, and then they will take care of it from there. We do have some dealer people that are on here as well. If they'd like to add to that a little bit, just raise your hand or unmute your mic and start talking.
Yeah, what I'll go ahead and do here is I'm going to go ahead and unmute everyone here. So if you have questions, feel free.
Hi, my name is Jamie Wubin. I'm the HR manager with Casey Nielsen John Deere. We are a family-owned business with 11 locations, including Humboldt, Lorenz, Manson, Harcourt, Kanawha, Woolstock, Algona, Buffalo Center, Esterville, Titanca, and West Bend. We do require an interview for sponsorship, so definitely call your local dealership to schedule that. Ask for Jamie in HR, and I can work with you on that. We do offer a scholarship that covers 100% of your tuition that will be paid over a 3.5-year time frame of employment. We'd love to talk to you about it. So again, go to your closest dealership or look at CaseyNielsen.com.
I'm Tyler Mosier, the recruiting specialist and training coordinator for Van Wall Equipment. We have 19 ag locations kind of throughout Iowa. And like Jamie said, we interview for this position as we're looking to make this a career job for a young student. So just go to your closest dealership, again, talk to someone in the parts or service department, and they can kind of point you in the right direction to get in touch with me. And then we also pay for tuition fees up front on a 3-year commitment, on the back end from you as a student. So I feel like our process is pretty simple and easy for you guys to get in and make a good career choice.
I'm Marv Hoffman. I'm with Midwest Machinery Company. Similar to the last two, we do have education reimbursement as well. We start out with everybody to apply with the FAFSA program, and then to come in and meet with us. They can fill out an application on our website, on the Midwest Machinery Company website. And then from there, we'll do an interview in person. And we've got students that have been through this program, great program. We encourage you to apply.
Thanks, guys. Any other questions? Slayton, I'm not sure if you tried getting in there too. Any other thoughts and whatnot? Feel free to speak up or use the chat box. Welcome to do so.
Hey, this is Larry Neidiger. I'm a parent. As far as housing and things go, do you tend to try and group kids in this program together in housing, or is that encouraged?
I don't know necessarily. So the housing is private housing, but there's a few people there that take care of that. And a lot of times the John Deere Tech students end up living together, and I think maybe they help arrange that.
I can answer that question. So as a dealer, we help our own students that go, but I just got off the phone yesterday with a guy named Joe who has like 50 to 70 units in and around Kalmar, Spillville, and Fort. And he said they will match people up accordingly to the schooling that they're enrolled in.
Yeah, that's right. And I know, in some cases that may take place that first year, right from the onset. And in other cases, after the guys have gotten to know each other, when the time comes to get in that next lease, to complete that second year of the program and whatnot, they form those relationships too. And I know that can take place then as well, too, from talking to Marcus and a few others as well. So
I'll just add one thing about the housing as well as I know just right in Kalmar too, like it was mentioned, there's apartment opportunities as well. There's 2 tower buildings in Kalmar as well as one on the other side of campus. That are all owned by the same landlord who works to work with students that are looking for anyone to try to find a roommate to be in those apartments. So those are also in Kalmar as well.
any other questions or thoughts from the participants?
Right now, Josh, I'm looking through, and I'm not seeing any other questions. Oh, someone had asked, it looks like Kim had asked if Bonus Signer works with us on this program.
Yeah, both center typically has several students a year in the program as well. And the contact there would be Carla at Decorah. Or just go to the dealership and apply.
Do you know, is there a contact for the Monticello store?
Everybody would go through Carla and Decorah, but I would say just go to the dealership and talk to the service manager or the store manager, and they get you lined up.
Okay. How early? So my son is is only a sophomore in high school right now. And then how soon should he start like the whole process of signing up for this and looking for the sponsorship and such?
A lot of times the dealers will hire him for summer jobs in advance. That kind of gives you a little bit of a foot in the door and a little bit, you get acquainted with the dealership as well. So I don't know, this summer might be a little early, but maybe not, maybe the next year, I do know that sometimes their both signers had too many people in one location. So if you get your foot in the door to start with, that would probably be good. So you should go discuss it with, he should go discuss it with them at the dealership and just form a relationship even if he's not working there.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
You find you have to turn people away, that you have more than 40 applicants?
We haven't for the last few years. In the past, we have.
Okay, thank you.
As far as connecting with the college on that side of things, in terms of, when is the right time to apply for the program and what have you, I would say, sometime in that junior year might be a good time to go ahead and do that. Once the next school year gets rolling out.
I think in most all cases, we like to see the student, the individual work at the dealership the summer prior to starting classes. I think there's some commonality around between the dealers with that, and maybe Jamie and Tyler can comment on that. But just to get that student in there and get him acclimated to the workplace a little bit, kind of helps when they start their first internship.
That is what we do at Midwest Machinery. Our students all come actually to the dealership right out of high school. Typically, like right now, we've got students that are coming to us working internships this entire summer before school starts in the fall.
We do that as well with Casey Nielsen. This is Jamie Wubin.
I think the transition into that first OJT goes a lot better if the student has worked at the dealership during the summer. They get to know everybody there, and I think then when you go to that first OJT, it's just kind of like going back home to the job, you know, and they're well acquainted. So I think it's probably a more productive learning environment if they do get a little experience before they start school.
You know, speaking of that, I really appreciate you guys as a faculty. You actually go visit the students and physically, face to face, you know, check in, see how things are going during each time. I think that's.
Yeah, when they're on OJT, we visit them once a month while they're on OJT. So for each OJT, we'll be at the dealership 3 times and talk to the student and talk to the managers at the store, just kind of making sure everything is going okay.
One thing I'll say, guys, is we like to do an event in the fall and in the spring. John Deere physical visit here. And, you know, just stay tuned for that, you know, depending on how things shake out, you know, that's something that we're going to want to do again this fall. So we hope that if you're watching today, you can come physically the next time that we do this in the fall. So stay tuned.
This is Larry again. Has there been any update on when on-campus visits can start up again?
I haven't heard anything. Have you, Dwayne?
No, we're still kind of waiting. We're a little bit unsure at this point of what we're going to do with our summer classes, how we're going to handle those.
Blake, what's the latest you've heard in terms of, you know, campus opening back up?
Yeah, for sure. So what I'm aware of is somewhere it's a little unknown. I think as of right now, we're kind of hoping for that mid-May time as far as, you know, physical visits and those kinds of things. But one thing I will say too is if this question comes up in a week or two when we get closer to mid-May, we do put updates on our website as well for the, if you go NICC COVID, we do updates on our website as well in case people are looking to maybe schedule visits for that time. But like I said, we're kind of looking for that mid-May is the last I heard.
Okay, thanks. I'll keep an eye on the website too.
All right, guys. Well, we're about 12:18 right now. Just want to respect everyone's time. Keep in mind, like I said, the video is recorded, so just reach out to Blake or myself, and we'll be able to send it your way. You know, any other comments or any last words? I know it's Rodney's birthday today, so if we wanted to flood that chat box that way too.
Certainly. Thanks, Josh.
Hey everybody, this is Anthony Stasinski, the John Deere Partnership Manager for really the colleges that we partner with in the U.S. and Canada. Definitely want to thank the guys today for taking the time to put this together. Obviously, we are in a tough time, and we'd typically like to do this in person. It's a little easier to do it in person to where you can see the shop, feel the shop. But I think they did a good job showcasing what they do there. in Kalmar through this today. Just really want to thank them for doing it. Obviously, with the environment today, I think it's a good step in the right direction. If you look at an industry that's still hiring, even going through all the craziness we have right now, still hiring, still staying busy, still looking to add on to their team. It's definitely a good area to look for a future in.
Thanks, Anthony. With that said, don't hesitate. I'm gonna, just in case you didn't get a chance to kind of jot it down, don't hesitate to reach out to one of us, with any questions specific to our college or our John Deere Tech program. But just want to welcome everyone for coming today, and appreciate everyone's time in this.
Yeah, there's our link, our email address is there. If anybody wants to talk at any point in time, shoot us an email with your phone number, and we can certainly give you a call too.
That sounds great. We're looking forward to hearing from you.
This being stuck at home is that's why we kind of wanted to come to work today for a change, because certainly a very good environment here.
Plenty of room to social distance in this building.
When there's only 3 of us in here, there is, yeah.
I got the cool room.